this thing's got a lot of power.
Oh, dude, this thing rips.
The motor company offered up 4 of their Sportster S's out of their demo fleet. We're just going to get some raw ride impressions.
You know a bike's good when it puts a smile on your face?
Woo!
This bike definitely puts the sport in Sportster.
For sure. I've never felt a Harley that feels like this.
Alright, as we roll out here, just a reminder, we've got a technical review on our channel too. If those of you that are new to our YouTube channel haven't seen it yet, go check that out. We have some specs and details on the new Sportster S. We're doing this kind of just a spur of the moment. The motor company offered up 4 of their Sportster S's out of their demo fleet, and we're just going to get some raw ride impressions. So we're gonna just head outside of Durango here. There's a cool little canyon that has some twisties that we should be able to really put it through its paces here in a short period of time. We've got these things for an hour, and then we've got to get them back so Harley can do their demos throughout the day.
Yeah, I'm really stoked. It feels really light. Do you feel that too, Greg? It feels like, I don't know, nimble?
It definitely is nimble, yeah. This bike, I'm really impressed by the lines of it too. The pictures don't do it justice. It is a little smaller than I was hoping for, being a taller guy, but it looks really good.
The exhaust does not bother me nearly as much in person as it did in some of the photos that they released.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if this thing heats up as we get these bikes rolling, because it is pretty close to your leg here, right up underneath the seat.
It is.
But let's see, I'm on a mid-control bike, and Zach's on a front-control bike. At some point, we're going to trade it up here and just to see if there's a difference in feel.
So Greg, how the forward controls treating you?
I like the forward controls better than the mid controls. I'm 6'5", and so I feel a little bit cramped with the mid controls, but I understand people with certain frames are going to enjoy the mid controls a lot better.
Yeah, honestly, at 5'11", I feel way more comfortable on it with the mids. I don't feel like I'm kind of peeling off the back of the bike.
I'm going to snag Caitlin, who's the motor clothes manager at Durango Harley Davidson, who's 5 feet tall, and let's have her sit on it. I think she'll fit on this just fine. Wow, this thing's got a lot of power.
Oh, dude, this thing rips.
The throttle response is impressive. I know I've got these in sport mode. I don't know if I'm going to play too much with the different modes here because I do like sport mode here. But wow, this thing gets up and goes.
I feel like you could almost drag a knee on this thing.
Yeah, it definitely feels that way. I was a little bit concerned because this big fat front tire, sometimes when you ride bikes that have these big front tires, they want to stand up. It's hard to lean into these curves, but holy cow, this thing wants to lean and just kind of go where you look. We got to slow down here. We're leaving our camera guy in the dust.
Greg, does your shifting feel, I don't want to say soft, that doesn't feel right, but does it feel, I guess, light?
It is some light shifting. A lot of times with the new Harley Davidson, it takes a while for the primary drive and gearbox to kind of feel good, and that comes with some wear, but this very much feels like some of the sport bikes I've been on. Not quite quick shifter like, but very light, easy to get it into gear.
Yeah, it doesn't have that kind of traditional clunk. I actually kind of like it, to be honest. It's different, but I like it.
Yeah, very different if you're used to just riding some of the traditional lineup for Harley, but I like it. I mean, it shifts and very quickly, and there's no question that you're in gear and ready to go.
I've never felt a Harley that feels like this.
This bike definitely puts the sport in Sportster. It's going to be different than the existing lineup for sure, and I know some of the purists are going to say, hey, it's not a true Sportster, but this is how the motor company has slotted this in the lineup. It's a fantastic bike. I'm thrilled with the performance of the thing. It just gives a reason for either existing customers to get on a different platform, or it's going to introduce Harley Davidson to a whole another group of potential customers here.
When you talk about purists, it doesn't sound like a Harley, and it definitely doesn't feel like a Harley either, but I think it's a good thing, like in a good way. The same way with the Pan Am, like we've been so impressed with the Pan Am, and the Pan Am doesn't necessarily sound like a Harley, doesn't necessarily look like a Harley, but it rips, right? And this Sportster is definitely in that same vein. I would say if you're a purist, or if you're not considering this bike, or you're not serious about this bike, I would say at least go try it. Try this thing out, because it looked a little goofy to me, and I am having so much fun on this thing. It is not the experience that I thought it would be.
The barometer for me with getting on a new bike too, and just, I love motorcycles just in general, so I'll ride just about anything, but there's truly good bikes out there too, and usually the barometer for me is, does it make me smile or laugh, or, does it give me a little different experience than what I've had? And this bike checks all those boxes for me. We can't wait for one of these to get on the ground, and we'll give you more of a full review at that point. Harley Davidson there again just gave these to us for an hour. We weren't expecting to see them here, and we weren't expecting to be able to get on them for an hour here. So we just ad hoc decided to get out, film it, give you guys some of our first impressions. Thank you, Harley, for letting us get out and try these things out. We've got a lot more Sportster S content coming as these bikes enter production and we get one on the ground at Grand Teton Harley Davidson, Idaho Falls. Comment, like, subscribe for more Sportster S content as well as just more Harley Davidson content, and we'll see you guys later.